Hi, everyone, and welcome to Sandra Coos Unfiltered. My name is Sandra Coos, and today I'm going to talk about the behavior of people and why you should not take it personally. I'm sure you all have come across a person who is constantly negative, who is tearing you down rather than building you up, or who always has something negative to say about whatever you're trying to do, right? And usually that hurts, doesn't it? Because you may have a new idea and you're so excited to share it with somebody and have them share in your excitement because it's a new beginning. It's a new idea. It's a new process. Maybe you just want to write your own book or, yeah, want to go on a trip, want to meet new people, start something new. And then there's always this person that says, well, are you sure? Don't you think you're putting a little much on yourself? Or what if you fail? Things like that. Those things hurt because we don't feel like someone is really hearing us. Someone is really sharing in our excitement. But the thing is, a person who reacts like that because of where they are in their journey. You may be further ahead in your journey of life and healing and growth than they are. So for them, the idea you may put out is threatening because they're not ready to embrace this idea. And so they get triggered from a place of fear or resentment, and they tell you that. But this has nothing to do with you. It's all about them and their mindset. Just think about this. A person who is further along in their journey of healing would always lift you up because they know where you are because they've been there before. But they're on a higher level, so they lift you up to their level. But a person who is not as high as you are on your journey will always try and drag you down. So, which means that in order to move forward in life, always connect with those who already have been where you are now, because they can help you get to the next level. They will encourage you. They will push you forward. They will challenge you for the better. They can give you tips and insights because they've already been there. But a person who hasn't will always find obstacles, roadblocks, reasons why not to do it. And the same is with people who are dealing with trauma. I mean, technically, whenever you are coming back with a negative response and you're triggered, it's always from some form of trauma. But let's say you're always there, you're always helping them, and they don't have anything nice to say. But at the same time, someone who comes every once in a while, they're put on a pedestal because this is so incredible that they just came by and they talk about it for weeks. But you, who are there every day to help them, be there for them, you don't even get as much as a thank you. That's also conditioned belief. And it's so sad when people do that because they don't realize what's right in front of them. Because they're so used to your help that it's nothing special anymore, at least for them. So they don't realize how much work you put in. They just take it for granted. But this is conditioning because we always try and get what we can't have. It's the lack mentality we were brought up with. Always strive for the things you want, trying to reach for the stars, set your dreams high, but don't expect to get there. And this is what most people, especially when they deal with trauma, are living by. So whatever they always have in their life is insignificant because it's already there. But the things we don't have in our life, and we just get a glimpse of it, we want more of that. We crave that because for 1 second it made us so happy. But this is trauma. Just like when you're going to your friend's house and whenever you go there, she's just bawling her eyes out, nothing else. You don't even get to talk about issues you have. That is so constricting because, in a way, yes, she may be really sad about something, but she is taking all your time and not giving you any of hers. That is a trauma response. So, again, it is not you, it is them. Some people will treat you really bad. Some people will be jealous of something you have, even though you don't know what in the world this could be. But for them, it's a huge issue. No, jealousy means something within us is missing, that we see another person and we crave that because we don't think we are able to get there. And so they will resent you. But this has nothing to do with you and all about them and their version of you. The version they see of you is not you. I talked about this in a different video. I think it was Why You Should Heal Trauma, the second one. Yeah, I think that's where I talked about it. So whatever a person thinks of you is none of your business. It sounds kind of silly, but it's true because whatever a person thinks of you is their version of you. It's not you. It's not who you are. It's who they think you are. But it doesn't mean it's who you are. And this is where it gets tricky because we put so much value on the opinion of other people's of us simply because we don't know who we are yet. But the more we heal, the more we understand who we actually are, the more our true self is coming to the surface, and the less important the opinions of other people are about us. Because they don't matter anymore since we know exactly who we are, and no, we're not who they say we are. We're not who that person says we are. We're not who our family thinks we are because we're our own individual. And so it's really important that you stop putting so much value on what other people say about you because it doesn't matter in the long run. When you listen to what other people say and they bring you down and you think, am I really this terrible? Am I really this bad of a friend that I can't listen after 3 hours of waiting for her to stop crying, for example? Am I really so vain that I can't talk about myself at all because it triggers someone if I have a happy story to share and they just tell me to stop talking about yourself? No one wants to hear that. No. The thing is, it doesn't matter what other people think. I can only repeat this again and again because it's their version of you. It's not you. It has nothing to do with you. So once you start realizing that whatever they say comes from their own mindset, you stop taking it on as yours. It has no value to you, what other people say about you, because you know it's not you. And once this sinks in, you're not taking this on anymore. Life becomes so peaceful because you no longer worry what other people think about you because it really does not matter at all. But it's a journey to get there. And the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to enjoy life and be happy and be able to be truly there for people. Because people who have this negative mindset, they're stuck in a negative loop. It's all about trauma. Think about someone who is deeply hurt. So many trauma survivors rather lash out at someone else and hurt them than focusing on their own pain. Because in the moment when they are catapulting something mean or hurtful towards you, that is their trauma talking. That is their pain, their feeling, pushing it towards you, pushing it out, because it's the only way they know how. But it has nothing to do with you. So once you understand that, once you feel that, you will notice how you have more and more compassion for the person because you understand, again, it's not about you, but they are in pain. And so you look at it from a completely different perspective. You look at it from an elevated perspective. That's what I see when I work with my clients. They are in pain. Yes, sometimes they lash out on me. I can tell you, I have heard every bad word under the sun, but I understand. Triggers can be so intense, triggers can be so painful, but being able to give them the space to express this trigger without taking it on and being re-triggered in the process and then being triggered for days or lashing out back at them and have like a huge argument. This is so powerful. There's so much good that we can do once we understand what other people say has nothing to do with us. So I do hope that my thoughts were helpful to you. I know it was a lot to swallow and a lot to process. And I do hope you start distancing yourselves from what other people say you are, because it's not who you are, and start your journey into figuring out who you are actually and truly, because that is so much, so worth more than believing what other people say. Right? If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate that. And always remember, trauma is not a life sentence. You have the power to heal. Bye.